The average American loses money every single year just by saving it. Yep, you heard that right. The cash sitting in your bank account is actually quietly losing value. Why? Because the US dollar is bleeding purchasing power, and you feel it every time that you fill up your tank or shop for groceries. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on why prices actually seem to go up, but your money doesn't. We're going to break down why your grocery bill keeps growing, how the Federal Reserve actually creates money, and why some people are ditching dollars for Bitcoin. Hey, I'm Josh Lasket, realtor, husband, data-free, and someone who cares deeply about helping families like yours stay grounded in truth while building something lasting for today and the future. Let's start here. Remember when a gallon of milk cost under $2? Now it's 4 or 5 depending on where you shop. A loaf of bread used to be $1 something. Now it's $3 for the cheap stuff. Eggs, well, we won't even get into how absurd those prices were. And it's not just food. Gas, housing, college tuition, even your basic Costco run. It all costs more, and yet your dollar hasn't grown stronger, it's gotten weaker. This isn't just random price hikes or a bad year at the farm. This is inflation, and it's not just an economic buzzword, it's a slow, quiet thief. Inflation means that over time, your purchasing power of your dollar shrinks. You're not getting paid less, but what you can buy with your money is less. It's like your paycheck is staying the same while everything around you keeps moving up a rung. Now, here's the part that most people don't realize. Inflation isn't a glitch in the system, it is the system. It's not an accident, it's intentional, designed, baked right in. The government wants around 2% inflation per year. Sounds small, right? But over a decade, that can eat away 20% or more of your money's value. Imagine having $100,000 saved, and in 10 years, it only buys you what $80,000 used to. That's like losing $20,000 just for doing the responsible thing and saving. No shopping sprees, no bad habits. You just sat on it, and it evaporated. And why does this happen? Because every year, more dollars are being added into the system. And when you increase the supply of something without increasing its real-world value, prices rise. It's like being at an auction where someone just keeps handing out more paddles. The bids go higher, but the item, it stays the same. That's what's happening with your groceries, with your home, with almost everything. And while it's easy to blame store owners or corporate greed, the truth is most of them are just trying to survive inside a broken monetary system. See, the dollar today isn't backed by anything. No gold, no silver, no real asset. It's backed by trust and by the hope that tomorrow's dollar will still be worth something. But history shows that currencies don't hold their value forever, especially not when governments keep spending more than they bring in. And the only fix they know is printing more money. So, if it feels like you're working harder, but not getting ahead, you're not imagining it. You're just playing a game where the rules are quietly shifting under your feet. So, how does this actually happen? Why does the dollar keep losing value? Well, enter the Federal Reserve. Now, don't let the name fool you. The Fed isn't a branch of government. It's actually a private central bank that operates independently, but with massive influence over the economy. Think of the Federal Reserve as the master printer of US dollars, and its job, controlling the supply of money, setting interest rates, and acting like a financial fireman, always ready to hose down a recession or fire up the economy with more cash. Here's where it gets real. Every single year, our government spends more money than it takes in from taxes. Way more. It's like earning $50,000 but spending $80,000. And instead of cutting back, you just borrow or make up the difference. So who funds the gap? The Fed steps in, but instead of physically printing dollars like Willy Wonka pumping out golden tickets, they do something far slicker. They press a button and poof, money is created digitally. No gold bars, no silver coins, just numbers typed into a banking system. They call it quantitative easing, which sounds complex, but it's really just a highbrow way of saying we're flooding the economy with more money. Now, here's a simple analogy I like to use. Imagine your neighborhood has 100 homes, and those homes have value because there's limited supply and people want to live there. But what if overnight, without adding more land, someone magically built 1,000 more houses out of thin air? What happens to the value of those original 100 homes? They drop because now there's more supply chasing the same demand. When you increase the supply of dollars, but the value they represent stays the same, or worse, shrinks, each dollar becomes worthless. And this isn't just theory. From 2020 to 2022, the Fed created trillions of new dollars. Literally about 40% of all dollars in circulation were created in just a couple years. That's not a little drip from the faucet. That's a full-on fire hydrant spraying directly into the economy. And what happens when more dollars are competing for the same goods, like homes, groceries, cars, or rent? Prices rise. That's inflation. But here's the kicker, and this part hurts. The new money doesn't go evenly into the pockets of everyday families. It usually hits the stock market first. Big banks, corporations, assets. By the time it trickles down to your paycheck or small business, the prices have already gone up. You're left holding the bag, trying to keep up in a race where someone else just gave your competition a head start. This is how the Fed, intentionally or not, fuels inequality. And it's how regular folks, people working hard, saving responsibly, end up falling behind. Because the dollars in their wallet, they're not backed by anything but trust. And the system behind them, it's running on debt, dilution, and a printing press that never sleeps. Here's the kicker, and it's a big one. The US government is now sitting on over $35 trillion in debt, and it's not slowing down. In fact, we're adding about $1 trillion in new debt every 100 days. It's like a runaway freight train with no brakes, and the track just keeps getting longer. So how do they keep the lights on? Simple. They borrow more and print more. But that's not without consequence. Every time more money enters circulation without real productivity behind it, inflation rises, and the dollars already in your pocket become worth less. Let's break this down in real terms. Say you've been disciplined. You've saved up $10,000 for your emergency fund. In a healthy system, that nest egg should grow or at the very least hold its value. But in this system, 5 years from now, that same $5,000 might only buy you $8,000 worth of goods. Why? Because your dollars are losing purchasing power faster than your savings account can keep up. Now look, I believe in saving. I believe in responsibility, stewardship, and building something with your own two hands. But what kind of system punishes you for doing the right thing? That's the treadmill that we're all stuck on. You're running harder every year, working longer hours, picking up side hustles, cutting back where you can, and yet you feel like you're falling behind. And here's the truth. You are. Because wages don't rise as fast as the cost of living. not for families, not for teachers, not for small business owners or first-time buyers. Retirees, they get crushed. Fixed incomes don't adjust with inflation, so their dollars stretch thinner every single month. Young people, they're starting life in a world where buying a home feels out of reach, owning a business feels risky, and saving feels pointless. And while Wall Street rides the wave of easy money and inflated assets, Main Street is just trying to keep gas in the car and food on the table. Let's call it what it is, a system built on debt and dependency. The government borrows, the Fed prints, prices rise, you work more, you save less, and then you borrow just to stay afloat. It's a cycle designed to keep the average person locked in. But what if you knew how the game was rigged? What if you understood the treadmill? Then maybe, just maybe, you could step off of it. That's why we're talking about this today. Not to be negative, but to pull back the curtain so you can start thinking strategically, not just traditionally. Because the people who win the game are usually the ones who realize it's a game in the first place. Here's where it gets interesting. After years, decades even, of running into this never-ending financial treadmill, more and more people are looking for a way off. They're asking the question, if the system is broken, where do I put my hard-earned money so it doesn't disappear while I sleep? And that's where Bitcoin comes in. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't that just internet money for tech bros and crypto gamblers? But let's take a step back and look at it with clear eyes. Bitcoin is what many are calling digital real estate or gold 2.0. And that's not hype, it's a strategic comparison. And here's why. Unlike the US dollar, which is infinite and can be created with the stroke of a keyboard, Bitcoin is capped. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in existence. No matter who's in power, no matter what the market does, no matter how bad the economy gets, that number does not change. It's programmed, it's finite, it's mathematically enforced, and in a world where money loses value over time, scarcity matters. If the dollar is like sand on a beach, constantly shifting, constantly added to, then Bitcoin is like owning beachfront property on a coastline where no more land can ever be made. You're not just holding a coin, you're holding territory in a digital world that's growing in adoption, infrastructure, and value. But it goes much deeper. Bitcoin is also decentralized, meaning no single government, corporation, or central bank controls it. It's run by a global network of computers that validate every transaction publicly, transparently, and without corruption. There's no CEO of Bitcoin, no bailout, no printer. It's the first time in history we've had money that can't be manipulated, can't be inflated, can't be confiscated if held properly, and doesn't require permission to use. Now, is it volatile? Yes. Bitcoin's price swings can feel like a roller coaster at times. But here's what most people miss. Volatility doesn't mean failure. It means discovery. We're witnessing the world slowly wake up to a new form of money. One that's not controlled by politicians, bankers, or short-term agendas. One that doesn't punish you for saving. One that you can pass on to your children, untainted and untouched. At its core, Bitcoin is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a hedge, not against your neighbor, not against stocks or real estate, but against the system itself. It's a way to opt out of endless debt, endless printing, and endless erosion of your financial future. It's a vote for something different, something sound, something fixed, something that might actually store the fruits of your labor across generations. And look, you don't need to go all in. You don't need to become a Bitcoin expert overnight. But understanding why it exists, what problem it's solving, that's the first step. Because when you start to see that Bitcoin not as a tech fad, but as a response to a broken system, suddenly it all starts to make a little more sense. You know, the more that I learn about all of this, how the system works, how our money moves, and what's really driving the cost of living, the more that I realize how crucial it is for everyday families like mine and like yours to wake up and take ownership of our future. Look, I'm not an economist. I'm not a Wall Street guy. I'm a husband, a dad, a realtor, a guy who works with his hands, who values hard work, faith, and family above everything else. And like you, I was taught the old school rules: work hard, save your money, stay out of debt. Those are good values. They shaped who I am, and I still live by them. But here's what they didn't teach us: that the rules of the game changed while we weren't looking. They didn't teach us that saving in dollars that lose value year after year is like storing water in a leaky bucket. They didn't teach us that printing money out of thin air affects our kids' future far more than any tax bill. And they didn't teach us that the economy isn't built to help the average family thrive. It's built to keep it running. And that's why understanding this stuff really matters. Not to get rich, not to chase hype, but to build something that lasts, to protect what you've worked so hard for, to make decisions that set your kids and grandkids up for more than just survival. If any of this hit home today, if it's challenged you, encouraged you, or maybe just got you thinking, then do me a favor. Like this video, leave a comment below. Share it with a friend who's trying to figure out how to build a future in today's economy, or with someone who's still trusting the system, not realizing the ground beneath them is shifting. And if you want help taking that next step, whether that's buying a home, investing smartly, or simply protecting what you've built, then I'm here. This is what I love to do, helping people like you make smart, values-driven decisions that lead to freedom. Use the links below to book a free discovery call, join my email list for insights that actually matter, or follow along as we explore this journey together. And hey, whether you're building wealth, raising a family, or just trying to make it through another day, you're not alone. And remember, a single smile is infectious. It can spread joy and cover a mile. We'll see you next week, my friends.